People say you shouldn't disturb the dead, but for 100 days, that's exactly what I did. Beneath moonlit skies and crumbling tombs, I became a grave robber, looting ancient crypts, unearthing cursed treasures, and uncovering secrets that should have stayed buried. But not all graves lie silent. Trapped within a cursed island waits the Lich King, guarding the power to control the dead. In this video, I will dig, fight, and survive, building my own haunted crypt along the way, because in this world of ghosts and ghouls, the only thing scarier than death is what comes after it. Will I survive these next 100 days as a grave robber? Let's find out. All right, we are in a brand new world, and this time we are a grave robber. But of course, the first things we need to get done are punching a tree, making a crafting table, and making some basic tools. All right, we've got our singular pickaxe, and now let's go see what's around our area as we look for some stone. Ooh, we've got a village. This is perfect. Let's definitely go to the village and see what goodies we can loot. We're already starting our lovely little grave robber experience, except we're looting not graves, just living people, for starters. We'll start there and we'll work our way towards the undead robbing. So we looted the village, grabbing the items we wanted to take with us before we decided to move on. All right, now that we've looted through the village, the next thing I want to do is start finding some of the grave robber mod structures. And the first one that I want to go to, I saw on our map over here in the Dark Oak Forest, is this haunted house. Now I'm just gonna set a temporary waypoint so we know the direction that we're headed. And before we start going too far, I am going to make ourselves a boat. And I mean, I don't think I'm coming back to this village, so I'm gonna just, steal some of their cobblestone. I feel like, it fits kind of the grave robbery. We are being a little bit cheeky and just, taking things as we please. So we're gonna do that with their cobblestone, because that way I can upgrade my pickaxe and we can make ourselves an axe. And we'll make ourselves a sword, because this is a very scary world after all, with the graveyard mobs out and about, especially at night. And real quick, I'm gonna grab some salmon. And now we're going to journey towards that haunted house. And while we headed towards the house, we took a pit stop to collect up some more cobble so that we could make a furnace. Along the way, we also grabbed some coal that we saw. Ooh, okay, we're coming up to our first graveyard structure, the haunted house. Okay. Ooh, there we go. And we got our first advancement, invitation to the tea party. Accept the invitation to the house in the woods. And now we get to do what we are meant to do, and that is rob some graves. We robbed our first few graves, which didn't have too much in them besides some leather armor and some golden carrots in the coffins, until we came upon one that had some iron and a sarcophagus. Diamond ore! Oh my goodness, look at the spyglass! Look at this! We got a spyglass! That's so fun! Look at us! Oh my gosh, we can see so much farther. I already technically have zoom as a mod, but we can go even more zoomy zoom. Wow, that's so fun for all of our adventures. They're very exciting. I'm also very excited about a golden apple and some diamond ore. Amazing. Okay. The morning of day 2, we continued looting the house. Okay, and I remember that right here, there's always an armor stand that has a ton of iron armor. It's very convenient to be a grave robber when you can just not feel bad about stealing everything you come across, so gotta love that. Full iron already. And we're going to flick this lever because it opens up a secret thing. Oh, netherite scrap. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so good if we find gold or anything else. Wow, that's crazy. Netherite scrap? Ooh, that's okay. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually in shock. That's incredible. And we're gonna take this skull. Just in case we need to blend in with any of the bad guys at night, I think it's a safe bet to grab the skeleton skull. I also think I'm going to take a black bed because it's a little bit more menacing for a grave robber to have a black bed instead of a, purple bed. All right, I got, ooh, ah! Oh my gosh! Wait, close this. Ah! Oh my gosh! It's fine. It's fine. I'm just right here. Please don't hurt me. Oh boy, this will be interesting. Hi, buddy. Okay. Can I grab my stuff from you quickly? Thank you. Let's put the block there. Oh my word. I literally got stuck in a cobweb. That's downright embarrassing. Okay. All right, let's be done with you and get another advancement. Source of evil. Obtain corruption from graves or graveyard mobs. So an acolyte is a graveyard mob. This is good to know. Now, looking at our advancements, we have source of evil, which then we can find the hanging tree structure, and that gives us an advancement. Or we can craft some dark iron with the corruption, and that also allows us to create a coffin. So we can get some advancements that way. But I think what I'd like to do is not deal with you guys. What's that thing you're holding? Get away from me. No, thank you. Okay, we're gonna be cheeky. There we go. Okay, we're getting rid of the spawner for these acolytes. That should make my life much easier. Okay. Oh, look, there they are. Hi, buddy. Hiya. So we cleared out all of the acolytes in the attic so we could loot it. Once we cleared out the acolytes, we started looting through the place. I'm also realizing I probably don't need to collect candles because I'm a grave robber. I'm not here to collect candles and be cutesy, you know? I'm just kidding. We're definitely making a cutesy house to store all of our goodies, but for now I do not need them, so we are just gonna focus on the goods. And then if I remember right, I can open up the ceiling. Aha. Oh, let's go. Look at another netherite scrap and gold and diamonds. Oh, this is so good. Look at this. The grave robbing days are already treating us so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, look at this. If we get one more scrap, we could literally already make some netherite. That is incredible. I'm very excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. And I did notice that it is nighttime outside, so let's sleep again. Next, we decided to explore the basement and see what we could find. Oh, and we've got something in here. Patient 3. Ooh, that's unfortunate. We then took out all of the acolytes and decided to dig around the room to access some more of the barrels that way. Oh, no way. A diamond block? Are you for real? Stop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, 12 diamonds. You know, I'd say for day 3, having 12 diamonds, some netherite scrap even, and full iron is pretty good. So I'd say we're doing pretty good for a little grave robber, aren't we? I then picked up the dagger the acolytes were using and used it against them to unlock an advancement. Turning the tables, kill an acolyte with a bone dagger. And if we look at our advancement tree, we got the invitation to the tea party and we completed turning the tables as well. Now we just actually have to take these guys out so I can loot this room in peace. Then we checked on the villagers we were hearing through the wall. Hi, little villagers. How are you? Oh, you patient one. You are not looking too good. And neither is your toilet. Is this what this is? That's unfortunate. No wonder you're not looking too good. You're not really living in the best of places, are ya? Okay, and do you also have the same thing? Yeah, okay. These are just I just looked in the toilet. Okay, that's lovely. After robbing the house and the graves, we spent the remainder of day 3 into day 4 collecting up some wool to craft our bags of holding mod that we added to the game to give us some extra storage. Once we had the leather bag crafted, we upgraded it to iron and then to gold for the maximum storage we could get. And since we're going to be robbing graves for 100 days, it is very important that we keep our storage in check. As we were headed towards the next haunted house we'd seen on our map, we came across a mansion, but decided we weren't prepared enough for that quite yet. We may be a crafty little grave robber, but you know, we're also a smart grave robber. We only rob from places that we know we can be safe robbing. You know, we don't really mess with the bosses until we are better prepared. Ooh, I just came up to a ravine. Can I make it? Okay, we made it. It really helps you in Minecraft if you just, you know, really make some like exaggerated sounds of you jumping. You definitely get places way faster. But looky there. All right, we're just gonna swim over there and start looting. From days 4 through 8, we spent our days robbing some more graves, removing the acolytes and their spawners, and looting the houses. Overall, the loot wasn't the best, but we learned that every house had one urn in the attic with netherite scraps, diamonds, and gold, so we could start making some netherite ingots. We then came across some chests with enchanted iron armor and even some diamond armor in them, so we took those for sure. We also made sure to check in the chests hidden behind the bookshelf for some goodies, and in one of the houses, we were more than pleasantly surprised by what we found. Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh, mending. Oh, this could carry us for a chest plate the whole entire time. Oh, that's so good. We later saw a structure on the map to investigate, so from days 8 to 9, we made our way over there, stopping to loot a village along the way, and found all the villagers chilling in the outdoor bathtub. When we finally made it there, it was a whole lot spookier than we expected. Ooh, this is creepy. Oh my goodness. Definitely a part of the graveyard mod pack. That is for certain. I think we're good. What's whispering? Is there like a mob I can talk to? Hello? Oh my gosh, that's so many bones! What? Hello? Wait, staff fragment. Is this what's whispering? Oh, I'm kind of scared to pick this up. Oh, I think this is part of the staff that I need to summon the boss at the end. Let's see. Broken parts 2. Collect the middle piece of the bone staff. We then found a chest containing a book and quill, and after reading through the book, we definitely were a little bit more freaked out and concerned about the staff fragment that we were holding. We found our first waystone, which will help us fast travel around our world as we loot more structures. We found our first small grave, which gave us another advancement, helping us to get one step closer to completing all the graveyard mod advancements. We then spotted a zombie village as we were heading towards another village, so we killed some time looting the main village, waiting for night to go see if any zombie villagers were still alive. Which, after looking around, none were left alive, so the next morning we instead turned our attention to another advancement that we could get, which involved collecting up some sand for glass bottles and unaliving some villagers. Oh, you think he'll just think I'm a villager and not just, you know, taking the blood of his villagers? We then collected up more villagers and boats and used the acolyte dagger on the villagers till we had a full vial, which brought us one step closer to having the items we needed to summon the boss of this mod. And I think we better leave this village before the villagers tell the iron golem what I just did. We then quickly dipped into a cave to pick up some iron and coal. And as the sun started to set, we found another grave to rob, and we made our way to the next village to sleep through the night. The morning of day 11, we checked through the village, looted what we could, and then went on our way. We then noticed we were by a frozen ocean, which is where the cursed island spawns that we need to locate to spawn the boss. So we decided to travel through the frozen ocean, taking any opportunity to loot structures along the way. We also dealt with some pillagers as we explored and freed some allays that became our travel buddies. I then came across another structure from the graveyard mod, which gave us another advancement and let us craft some decorative skulls, so we took that with us too. We then decided to give our lay friends some different decorative skulls to fit our grave robber vibe even more. With no luck rendering in the cursed island on our map, we noticed another haunted house in the swamp, so we took our lay friends to go loot that and collect all the goodies from it. We also saw an unusually placed custom mushroom, which had a grave under it for us to loot and an anvil so we could combine some armor. I then saw another structure on our map that looked like the hanging tree in this mod, but before we ventured towards it, I decided to keep our lays inside the haunted house and place a waystone down so we could come back to them, since I didn't want them getting hurt or lost as we explored. Alright, here it is. The hanging tree, and if you can't tell why they call it that, yeah. It's, you'll see in a moment even more so why. Ooh, we've got the hanging tree. Discover the truth about the dead tree. And that is why it's called the hanging tree. Not ominous at all. So creepy. Now, what we can do with him is we can actually trade the corruption that we have collected up. So if I check my bags and we grab all the corruption that we have, he's basically like a villager or a wandering trader, except instead of emeralds, our friend here wants corruption, and he's just a little bit of a creepier version. But there are also some hidden things that we can find in here. Okay, I just noticed a trap door, and And there's a light up there, which means something's there. But I can't get up. Okay. Oh, wait, things. Oh, no way. I was literally just saying how I wanted just the diamond pants. Look at this. Full diamond, day 16, all because we're a little grave robber looting the structures around us. That was pretty good. I then saw another hanging tree on the map, so I decided to go check out what goodies that tree was hiding. We checked the hidden urn, which gave us a Smite 5 sword, which is huge for fighting the undead mobs we'll come across. And since we had to wait till night to trade with the hanging man, we found another haunted house on the map to loot a bunch of the graves to kill time till night. Once we checked out what this guy was trading, there wasn't anything interesting, so we used the waystone to go back to the haunted house to loot the rest of the goodies. As I was looking for new structures to check out, I noticed a large graveyard on our map, so I started making my way over there. Ooh, it's so spooky. Oh, disturbing the dead 1. Okay, wow, look at this. Okay, let me go into free cam. Check this out. Ooh, there's a little something at the top with a little ladder. With another advancement completed, I entered the graveyard and checked out a mausoleum's chest, then checked a fancy grave in the graveyard, saw a skeleton leaning against another mausoleum that looked a bit more ominous, so we looted some other graves first. I then climbed the ladder of one of the mausoleums to check out the 2 chests that it had as well. And at the top, we discovered a book that someone had left, which was just a tad creepy. I then faced my fear and went into the mausoleum guarded by the skeleton, but there actually wasn't anything too interesting in there to my surprise. The next morning, I tested out my Smite 5 sword on a skeleton and grabbed some free anvils. We then decided to head out in search of more sheep to make more bags when I found another ossuary, so I grabbed that as well. We then spent the remainder of day 19 crafting up more bags of holding and upgrading them from iron to gold to give us more storage for our travels. The morning of day 20, we continued organizing all our bags, and we spent time upgrading our armor with the books we found. All right, we've got one more bag of holding, and we've kind of organized all of our goodies and job blocks and specific to the graveyard mob items. Then we've got our armor, some backup tools, and some additional kind of potion supplies. And this third one is more of just the random kind of drops from different mobs and different things that we've looted. And now we are going to pick up all of our items. And the next thing I want to do is actually start looking for a place to set up a little base, a home location, so that we can store all of our goodies and then just use the waystones to get around and drop off our things. And I do kind of like these birch trees. However, this isn't really the forest vibe that I'm going for. So I do want to see on our map if there's any larger birch forests, and it looks like there's a little bit over here, and then there's more of it over here. Ooh, wow, look at this scenery. Ooh, so many sheep down there. Okay, see, this could be a good spot too. I don't really like how this is just dirt everywhere. Oh, and there's some coal, so that's good. But I think we are going to just head down here, collect up this sheep, and then we're gonna go over top of this ridge here because I think, yes, there's tons of birch over here. Okay, I definitely like these spooky vibes that the birch and the birch leaves add, and there is this custom tree here. I'm not even sure what this is, but I do know that it is night, so let's just sleep through this night. Now, there has to be a reason for this being here. They don't just place these randomly, so there's either something... Wait, right there, look, right as I say it. I was gonna say it's either gonna be up in the tree or underneath the tree. I'm just demolishing this tree. Is there anything else? No? Okay, so then it's literally just what's up inside this little section here. Jump to get it. Ooh, string. That's what we needed to finish one of the bags of holding to upgrade it. Diamond horse armor, if I end up finding a horse, sure, but we could take some cobwebs. And the Lily of the Valley is cool. There's actually not that much in here, which is kind of interesting. But all right, now we know when we find these larger birch trees what we can find in between all of the little leafies that they've got. And I do think that this is a nice little area. I like that it is right on the edge of water. It is also on the edge of the dark oak forest. If I go into free cam, I think that the dark oak forest looks really cool in this texture pack, and so does the birch. So I think this is where we are going to set up our base. So let's just place down our items right here. We'll set our spawn. Of course, get a crafting table down and a waystone, and we will name this one home. And now we can go to the allay house or one of the hanging trees. We spent the next bit of time lighting up the area, terraforming the ground, and removing some trees with the one-shot mod that we added, and then we started making an outline for the build that we were going to create. All right, we've got a basic outline set in place. Now this is going to be the front entryway to a little platform here that will then be like a little balcony right here in this section, and then it will lead into our house / our storage crypt. Now we're also going to have these little pillars on the sides here, and it is going to be pretty tall. We are also going to have a little kind of 5x5 steeple in the middle here that's going to be taller than the rest of it. But this in free cam is kind of the vibe, and then we are going to hide it and surround it with a bunch of these spooky trees, and then we'll make a little pathway down to the water. But before we can do anything, we've got a lot of cobblestone and deep slate to collect. So it is down to the mines. So I spent the next few days collecting up a bunch of stone and iron and starting to work on filling in our house's floor. We then fixed up our mending pickaxe so we could go back down to collect even more stone. I then added some dark iron bars to the entry porch and started building up the front arch to get onto the porch. We then smelted up even more stone to change to stone bricks. We then continued filling in the floor, building up the support pillars, and collecting even more stone. I then broke open into a cave with a bunch of monsters hiding, so we took them out one by one. And I even got an advancement for taking on a ghoul from the graveyard mod. We were then back to building up the walls of the house with all of our stone brick we had collected, and the house was really beginning to take shape. Of course, we then had to go back down for even more resources, fought off another ghoul, but then I noticed something on our map. Okay guys, I just stumbled across something on my map mod that is very intriguing, but also very terrifying. Now I'm currently just tunneling my way down to deep slate, but then I noticed this. And this looks like it could be that underground crypt that I was talking about and trying to find, because this looks like an altar of some kind. This is a corridor. It seems like there's paths to get to this thing, but I'm going to mark this as a temporary waypoint, and I'm just going to leave this here. I do first want to have our house made before we go take on and loot even more graves, but I did want to point that out to you guys because I think it's going to be a grand adventure, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to come across the scariest mobs that I've ever come across so far, but the loot should be good, right? But for now, we continue looking for deep slate, just avoiding any of the undead mobs and such. And we might as well grab some of this iron while we're here. Ooh, what do we got here? We got a spawner. How lovely. Not too far from our house either. Let's go. And nothing good. And a saddle and some armor. Not too great. And we finally made it down to deep slate level, so let's mine a bunch of this deep slate up. I then noticed how the zombie growl, when it's sped up, sounds like someone sick with a stuffy nose. We then grabbed some more stone as we were heading back up to smelt the stone and craft it into more stone variants. And even though we are a grave robber, we are not an animal murderer. Well, at least not these particular ones anyways. Him, that's a different story. You think the llamas would believe me if I told them that I was their owner? Ha. Ha. That grave robber put you in a boat, my friends. Ha. Let me get you out of the boat. See, there we go. I think it's working. As we collected more deep slate, I kept hearing spiders and realized that I was digging right above a spider spawner, which had a chest, but it was nothing too good, but at least we got a spider head out of it. We then were back at the surface, building up our house and putting the finishing touches on the exterior to complete our mausoleum crypt storage house. All right, guys, our house exterior is finally done and I can give you a tour, and I love how this turned out. If I go into free cam and back up, it looks so cool in this spooky birch forest. I love it. We've got a cute little tower bit with some details in between the pillars. And I think this is super cool. It's kind of like a crypt mausoleum slash chapel thing, maybe, because of the little like towery bits. But either way, I think this is so cool. And for this exterior right here, I'm thinking that if we're going for a grave robber, you know, grabbing some coffins, robbing some crypts, I think it would be kind of cool if we made a little bit of a cemetery out here. And I have a really fun idea for what to write on the little headstones, so we are going to next work on that. Now all we need is 7 pieces of deep slate or stone cobble, however we want to use it, but we need 7 pieces of stone, and I think I need a graveyard that has about 15 to 20 little headstones, so let's just start crafting a bunch of these up. I also need my dark iron because not only do I want to make some coffins that require dark iron, but I also want to create some sarcophaguses? Sarcophagi? I don't know. I want to make a few of them. That's all we need to know. And for that, we need to have deep slate and we need to have the dark iron, so I can at least make 1. Now, in order to make more, I need to have corruption and we need to have some iron. So we'll have 3 iron and 3 corruption. We will make our dark iron and then we can make the rest of our little sarcophagi. And we're quickly going into the mines to collect more deep slate and some more of our stone bricks to finish our gravestones. Okay, real quick, look how cool our house looks from across the way. Oh, it totally looks like it blends into the graveyard mod, and it's like a structure we get to explore, except it's our house. And hopefully it is spooky enough that everyone that comes near it won't want to enter it, and all of our loot will be safe. We spent the next bit of time smelting up the cobblestone into stone and converting that into stone bricks to create the gravestones. All right, we've got 11 and 4, and I only needed 15, so this is everything we needed. Now, instead of crafting up all of the coffins and using up a bunch of our dark iron, I'm thinking we actually go pay a visit to some of those haunted houses and do a little bit of exploration to be able to just grab a bunch of the coffins and add them into our area. But I think what we're gonna do is head back towards another haunted house and grab a bunch of those coffins. So we can stop by our Alley house, and we're just gonna grab all of their coffins. I also realized I probably could have also just taken these gravestones instead of crafting up more, but it's fine. I also am going to take the sarcophagus that was left here too. So we spent the next bit of time grabbing all the coffins and the sarcophagus and all of the gravestones around the haunted houses. And we decided to take the deep slate walls and the iron bars as well as the lanterns. We spent the next few days going to the different haunted houses to collect up some of the resources and crafting up all of the coffins that we would need to create our cemetery. Back at our base, we continued placing down the walls and decorative iron bars for the cemetery, fixing up our pickaxe once again, and we started placing down the headstones and all the coffins to fill the cemetery, and I added some path blocks in between the graves, like the paths were well worn from people visiting to pay their respects. Alright, and looking at our map, we collected all the coffins from the Alley house way over here, but there is this one over here back in the dark forest that we could go to, so I'm gonna create a temporary waypoint to this one. I also do want to continue filling out the map and seeing if any of this frozen ocean would reveal one of those cursed islands, and we need to figure out where that underground crypt went, but for now, let's focus on finishing up this cemetery. I could widen this so that we can walk a little bit easier in between all the coffins and the graves, but I think honestly this is a perfect size. And one thing that we can do before we head out is add all of the glass into our windows on the sides here. Also, I love how our stained glass looks against the floor, and even the pattern on the floor reminds me of a coffin, which is perfect for our grave robbing days. With the stained glass in place, we then went looking for that haunted house. Once we arrived, we looted all of the items that we needed to finish out our graveyard, and we went back to our cemetery to finish it out. All right, I've spent the first part of the morning just adding a bunch of different signs to all of our gravestones, honoring all of our YouTube members. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that are supporting me through being a YouTube member, but I wanted to take time to honor my modder Rebel for being a member for 32 months, Encrypted for being a member for 32 months, and AR, I decided to do After Red, as in After Red started her YouTube channel kind of a vibe. So instead of like BC, AD, we have AR. So that's what that means. We've got Encrypted, we've got Yekaterina, we've got Madison, we've got Battalion, we've got Okami, Mr. Big Man, Jay Kabak, we've got C. Nestle, we've got Heaven, we've got Laura, and then since I had an uneven number of our tier 1 members, I just decided to put this gravestone here too. Now, as far as these fancy ones in the back, these are all our tier 2 members, so thank you to Ben for 32 months, Bluing for 30 months, Christy for 5 months, and Miss Minixie for 2 months. So they get the special ones in the back for being our tier 2 members, but I think this is a super cool little graveyard next to our little crypt house. And if we go out into free cam, this is what the graveyard looks like next to our little house. As far as the interior, it is completely unfinished, but I think it is time for us to go off on a little adventure, and I want to go find that underground crypt and see if we can find some more coffins, some more of the sarcophagus, and add those into here as our storage. I'm thinking we can like line up all of the coffins in the back here, and then maybe get some like armor stands in front of the windows for any of the armor we find. But I say it is high time for us to go on a new adventure. And looking on our map, actually the underground crypt is surprisingly close to our house. I literally walked over it on our way to this haunted house to grab coffins, so that is actually hilarious. It's a little bit unnerving knowing that there's a giant underground crypt with creepy creatures underneath us over here, but you know, this is gonna be probably the best loot we're ever going to find, so this Grey Robin girl is ready for an adventure. All right, according to our map, we're pretty much right on top of it, so I think we just start creating a little tunnel down. I do want to light this up to keep us safe when we do surface again, so we'll just add some torches real quick. And now we just start making our way down to this underground crypt. Whoa, wait a second. Cracked deep slate. This, I think, is the roof of the build, so this could get interesting. Oh, I'm so nervous to go into this build, guys. I'm actually so scared, but we do have, you know, enchanted diamond armor, but I'm still scared. I'm such a baby. Okay. We got this. We're fine. Everything's fine. I then quickly set a waystone down to get home easier to drop off all the loot I was expecting to get from these graves, and then we found an ominous book in the lectern and started grabbing some resources from the room before climbing down the stairs that opened up into a long hallway filled with coffins to loot and skeletons everywhere. Look at all of these coffins to loot. Oh, this is gonna be so good, but what the heck is that guy? Guys! Oh, geez. They look like they kind of had like a creeper kind of explode in their face. They look like they've seen better days for sure. We're gonna block this off as quickly as possible. There's a spawner. No freaking way. That's terrifying. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, he runs so fast. A corrupted vindicator? Hi, guy. Are you undead so I can kill you easier? Oh, you are so creepy. I was terrified how... Wait, hang on. Are you missing an arm? Do you not have an arm, buddy? Is it a... Oh gosh, they run so fast. I think they are missing an arm. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ooh, okay, well, I've gotten their attention, which isn't good. So I guess we're just gonna have to deal with these guys as we continue exploring the place, aren't we? I then started bridging over towards the spawner I saw, slicing some corrupted vindicators as I went, and then I looked towards the center of the room to see even more vindicators lurking about, and I could see that this place was even larger than I initially thought. Okay, look how large this place is. There's so many different corridors I can go down, and it looks like there's a staircase down too. This place is giant. This is insane. I then noticed a room that looked like it had 2, if not 4 spawners, so we decided to skip that room for now and found a hallway to go down that did have a spawner that seemed to be spawning some corrupted pillagers. So we took out the spawner and noticed the hallway opened up into a giant room where it looked like the acolytes had been brewing tons of potions here. Whether they're trying to help cure or further corrupt the pillagers, who's to know. But we took out the spawners in that room, cleared out the acolytes and mobs, and began looting all of the potion supplies, barrels, chests, and coffins inside the giant room. We then encountered another new graveyard mob, the Wraith. Luckily, using our Smite 5 sword, it only took 2 hits to get rid of them, which came in handy as we continued looting and continued running into even more wraiths. Overall, the loot wasn't too good, but we were able to find a few good chests we were excited about from the Alkalite Alchemy room. We then got distracted by finding some cute, spooky little axolotls, so of course they had to come home with us. We then continued breaking spawners, removing the corrupted mobs, robbing the graves, and dealing with the wraiths that guarded the graves. As I spent the next 10 days exploring and looting the underground crypt, I was constantly surprised by how large the layout was. This first floor of the crypt had some hallways with just coffins lining the walls and other rooms that led to larger rooms or long maze-like hallways, and some even had a few bookshelves with a lectern on them. As we looted through coffins, sarcophagus, chests, urns, and barrels, most of the loot was pretty mid, but we did find some really good loot in some of the chests that we were super excited about. We also came across a glitched out sarcophagus in a geode, which was kind of cool. And then we had our closest death encounter so far. Whoa! Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Ah, I'm stuck in the cobweb. Where'd you guys come from? Oh no, I'm stuck. Keep your calm, Red. Keep your calm. Keep your calm. Holy... Ooh, okay. Yeah, get rid of the cobwebs. Where did they even come from? Down the hall? Oh. Valid. Valid, there's a literal spawner. Okay. Did not see that. We see it now. It's fine. Everything's fine. After looting through most of the hallways and dealing with our fair share of corrupted vindicators, pillagers, and wraiths, it was finally time to face the room we were dreading. The room with the 4 spawners. Okay. Just go down the hallway, get rid of the spawners. Go down the hallway, get rid of the spawners. That's all we need to do. Go down the hallway, get rid of the spawners. Oh my gosh, there's so many. This is terrifying. Okay. Corrupted Vindicator. Corrupted Pillager. Corrupted Vindicator spawner. Done. Corrupted Pillager spawner. Done. Alright, guys. How we doing? Yep, line up. Yep. With the spawners and mobs removed, we then began exploring down the hallways this room had connected to it and robbing all the graves we could find. And of course, dealing with our fair share of wraiths. We did end up filling up our 4 bundles, so we went back home to offload our first round of goodies. We also grabbed a bunch of coffins to use as our storage chests, and we spent some time organizing our storage coffins and doing a bit of decorating before we were back with empty bundles ready to loot the basement level. And in the basement, most of the loot wasn't that good either, but I did manage to grab some more coffins for us to use in my storage room, and we did find a few good things in the crypt's basement. We then came across what seemed like a lava parkour section, which the pillager was not good at. As we navigated the parkour, we spotted a hidden barrel, fought off some mobs guarding a chest with a good chest plate, and we checked another hidden barrel. We then found our second lava parkour section, so we immediately grabbed the barrel loot and went right up to check the chests, which had some great loot. The rest of the loot we grabbed wasn't the best, besides a few good chests chests here and there, and then I realized that I had gone and pillaged every room in the crypt. Well guys, I think we successfully, completely pillaged everything that I want from here for now, and what's super fun is we are getting pretty close to having a lot of the advancements checked off. This is the crypt one. The only one that I don't know what to do with is witness a wraith extinguishing a light source. Now, the only way that I can imagine getting a wraith to extinguish a light source is if they're somehow not chasing me, and they're always chasing me. So I'm not exactly sure how you do that one, but I think for now, let's go home, drop off our goodies, and we can finally do some interior decorating. All right, we've got all of this netherite scrap that we officially have 2 more netherite ingots, which brings us up to a total of 4, which means that I could get full netherite armor. However, if we look at our smithing table, we need the smithing template, which means we would have to go into the nether to find a bastion and find the smithing template, which I've never actually truly explored the nether in a 100 days video, but since I'm trying to fight a boss, I think it would be worth it. But before we go and do that, I do want to do some more decorating around our area. So let's grab all of these different skeleton bits and let's go decorate. Next, we went to go check out the nether portal to collect all of the obsidian to get into the nether. With the portal lit, we got a good night's rest, and the next morning crafted a helmet, turned the fire rest potions we had into longer lasting ones, and we went into the nether to start looking for a bastion. Once we made our little safety box and looked around, we checked on our map and noticed a treasure bastion on the map, so we marked it down and made our way over. As I dug through the nether, I stumbled upon a fortress, so we got that advancement, looted some goodies from a chest, and fought off some blazes and continued digging through the nether using the quartz to mend our pickaxe until we finally found the bastion. Now, these places can be extremely dangerous if you're not careful, so I decided to make my way down to the bottom level of the bastion where the gold pile and good loot is at the center of the room. I made myself a little tunnel towards the loot until I finally was close enough to open the chest safely, which had the template I was looking for and some other goodies that I grabbed and got the heck out of there. As I made my way back through the tunnels, I fought off some more blazes along the way, and on day 57, we were already back in the overworld. Whew. All right, that feels real good to be home. Oh, it's so nice to be in the overworld. Oh my goodness gracious. And we didn't even need to use the fire res potion, which is amazing. Once in the overworld, we smelted and crafted our new netherite ingots. We've got so much netherite, it's so good. Okay, don't let it despawn red. Now, I'm not going to upgrade my armor just yet. I'm going to wait. Now, the next thing that I want to do is we haven't gone on an adventure to look for more staff fragments in a bit. So that's the next thing that I want to work on. Now, if we just head on outside really quick, then we're able to see around us. Now, I know for a fact that the cursed island where we need to ultimately go to spawn the boss is in an ocean. And I know that we have some ocean in here. So I think that maybe we teleport to the LA house and then we start opening up some of this space down here, because I think that's probably going to be our best bet. So we need to make sure we've got all of our little goodies. We've got a boat, which is great. I'm just going to offload the rest of the things that we just got, and then we're going to head out. All right, we've got our helmet back, and I think we're ready to go. So let's first go to the LA house. And I know it's going to be night soon, but I think we'll still be okay. And then let's just make a marker right here to start getting us in the right direction. So we're going this way. Well, hello, little froggy. How's it going? enjoy your day at the swamp. I really don't even know what I'm looking for. I just know I'm looking for creepy stuff. That's really what it comes down to. Oh, and speaking of down, I am stuck in a hole. Once out of the hole, we traveled through the swamp, across water, across the tundra, and while boating, we noticed what looked like a remembrance tree we'd found before, but on the map, it looked more like a little graveyard. So we went over to rob all of the graves it had and combined leather boots to make some nice walking on water boots. As we looked at our map, I noticed a structure I haven't seen yet, so we marked it and started making our way towards whatever it was. Now, I'm hoping this structure is large enough that it could potentially have a staff fragment, but it's really hard to tell because we found one of those staff fragments in a tiny little structure. Technically, it was a mound of dirt, but I'm hoping this thing... Oh, is it already... Ooh, I can see it in the distance. Honestly, this literally looks like our house. All right, here we are. Here's the structure. I don't know what to expect from this thing, but I've got my shield up. As we looked around, I noticed a room with some chests, so we looted through those to see what we could find. The next morning, I saw a gravel trap with a tripwire, so we went around to the other side and then decided to set off the trap at a distance. We then started going up the stairway, which turned into some parkour, and after looting some chests halfway up, we finally reached the top and started hearing something familiar. Wait, the other staff fragment was whispering. Wait, do we think that is it? Oh, I really don't like the whispering. It's so creepy. Oh no. Okay, it is a staff fragment, so that's good. Oh gosh, creepy. We found another piece, and it's a different one. So that means we have one more to find. But look at this. We've got broken parts 2 and 3. We're just looking for the lower, kind of like the tail. And for safekeeping, we will put him inside this little bag here. And looking at our map again, I'm noticing 2 more structures. So let's go check these out with a little waypoint. Right, I made it to the first one of the 2 structures we're going to explore, and this actually looks like a pretty large graveyard if I go out into free camp. Look at this. I feel like we should find some pretty good things. Oh, wait, there's a book there. Ooh, okay. We're either gonna find good things or just more kind of scary lore books, and I can see whatever that bluish... What is this, by the way? Is this like a campsite? I think it's like a little campsite. Yes, it's totally a campsite, but we're gonna not get distracted. The first omen. Oh gosh, why am I gonna be scared? Interesting, a villager got sick. I wonder if that's the villager that I got sick, because that would kind of check out after all. We then spent the rest of day 59 looting through the graveyard to collect any of the goodies that we thought were worth keeping, and then we slept into day 60. Okay. Don't think anyone's here. Besides, skeleton dudes. Wait. Oh, no way. Wait. Did I actually find another? Where, though? Oh, you're so loud. Oh. Oh my gosh. No way. Oh. No. We found them all. I didn't think... We did it, guys. We can now summon the boss of this mod. And if we go to our advancements, look at that. We collected all of the broken parts. Now to find the cursed island. Ooh, a book. People need to be cleansed. That sounds a little sketchy, but that's fine. That's kind of what all these books are, honestly. With all 3 staff fragments found, we ran over to the other graveyard to loot all of the goodies from there. After looting the graveyard, we checked our map and noticed a different structure, so we decided to go explore that to see what we could find. Okay, I think I see the structure, at least the tree that's associated with it. Oop, almost fell. It's fine. Horses, you saw nothing. Oh! A totem? Are you kidding me? This is so helpful for fighting the boss. Hello? I had this struck. Okay, you know, the life of a grave robber isn't exactly the most pleasant, or, you know, the people aren't that friendly towards you, but you do get some goodies, let me tell ya. All right, so we are at this structure right here, and as I was looking at our map, I did already mark a waypoint down, but it looks like another very similar graveyard, which, I mean, if we can get another totem of undying there, that would be pretty awesome. We do also need to keep looking for where that Lich Island could be, and we do need to just go exploring the open ocean in order to see if we can locate it, so that's gonna be our next focus. This is a pretty large ocean, and we still have the ocean over here in the frozen taiga area to explore. But honestly, I'm kind of thinking that while we're at it, let's just get a boat and work our way up to see if we can collect a second totem. And I did want to show you guys, look at this. The texture of the bees is a fly. It's so silly and also kind of gross at the same time. So I'm not exactly wanting to collect bees this time because they are a little bit gross, but it does fit more of a spooky vibe, doesn't it? All right, let's hop in our boat and go see if we find a second totem. We also saw a sunken ship, so we stopped to loot that. With the buried treasure found, we were back in our boat heading towards the waypoint. Ooh, we made it! And it does look like it's that exact same type of grave. So we're going right to the chest. Oh, that is such a bummer. I was so counting on this one having that. Oh, and this doesn't have good... Oh, hi. Hi. I didn't know you came out here. I'm definitely just stuck in a cobweb. Interesting. That's the first time I've seen one actually come out during the day, kind of. I then tried to get the Wraith to extinguish my torch, but he was more interested in following me, so we went to plan B, getting rid of them. We then checked out the map again and noticed something huge. No way. Guys, this is the island! This is where we have to spawn the boss! Oh gosh. This is where we have to spawn the boss and we found it. Oh no. Alright, let's oh wait. It's in the sky? Hello? Okay. Chicken, say a little chickeny prayer for us, okay? I'm nervous. Oh my gosh, look at it. You can see it. Oh, this is so scary. I don't like how you can just see it floating all ominous through the clouds. Are you kidding me? Also, how am I supposed to get to it? I'm gonna need a lot of pillaring blocks. Oh my gosh. Wait, is that a rib cage? Oh gosh. This thing is crazy, and that's where I have to fight the boss. I'm not scared. You're scared. Oh gosh, guys, what am I doing? I've never fought a boss like this before, like a custom one. Like, sure, I've conquered the dragon, I've conquered the wither, I've, you know, messed with the warden in a better Minecraft, but this is different. I then stopped by a nearby island to collect up a bunch of blocks to help us pillar all the way up to the island, which took us a while, but we finally made it. Oh goodness, guys, we're basically here, and I'm a little scared. Oh, look at this. Oh, we got it. Find the altar of the Lich. Okay, yeah, I'm sleeping. That is 100% happening. Okay. Well, we found our way here, and this place is so scary. Look at this altar. Oh, and the skeleton. I mean, hey, if I need bone meal, this place got bone meal. But look at this. Ooh. Does this... Wait, why are these... Okay, I wonder if this is where I'm supposed to, like, place down the parts of the skeleton, because there's 3 dots here right? Unless I'm supposed to like funnel it all into here, but this is creepy either way. But I guess let's stop and read this book quickly. Okay, let's read through this. You guys can pause it to read it if you're curious. So basically, the servant to the master decided to split the staff into 3 pieces, curse its master, and then I guess the curse caused the master to get trapped. And the 3 staff pieces, I think, need to be laid out here. And I'm assuming the blood we may be put here, but it sounds like we have the master kind of hidden between and beneath all of these rocks, and that is how we summon them. Now, before we summon our friends, I want to have our waystone here connected to our house. I also want to set up a little safety point, and I want to get a bunch of iron golems to help us with killing the lich. And we also need to create a safety barrier because I do not want to fall off this island during the fight. Back at home, we spent the next few days preparing to fight the Lich King and preparing the island itself for the big fight. We collected iron and carved pumpkins to be able to make an iron golem army, and then we brewed up a bunch of potions. However, we did have to go back into the nether for some glowstone to use as potion ingredients. But we had to battle a blaze in order to finally collect it and get back to brewing our potions. I also noticed the texture pack made the magma cubes look like flaming carved pumpkins, which is both cute and terrifying. Back at home, we used our glowstone to make our instant health potions into instant health 2 potions and prepped a ton of those into splash instant health 2 potions. Alright, now you might be wondering why I have so many splash potions of healing too, and that's because undead mobs like zombies, skeletons, the corrupted boss we have to fight will all take damage when we put healing potions on them. So, if I'm able to, at a distance, splash them with these healing potions, they should take a lot more damage, and it should be a lot easier for us to take them out. So the splash potions plus our iron golems, we should be more than prepared for this fight. And of course, if I need to splash myself with instant health, that works for me and gets everyone else around me damaged. We also made some regen potions and then used our fortune 2 to mine up some diamonds to repair our gear. Now the main issue is we have all of these books with really good enchants that would be helpful for a lot of our armor and such, but we don't have the levels to do anything about it. And if we run our way down our little tunnel here, we do have this little zombie spawner that we could quickly convert. Now we don't need to make this a full bubble elevator up and down one. I think all I want to do is just kind of fill this in, make it a smaller dark room for them to spawn around, and then we'll be able to just take some water, kind of make them start trickling down towards a common area for us to slice them, and we should be able to get some easier levels than building a full XP farm. So we'll just spend a little bit of time getting this all set up. I then spent time fixing up our makeshift zombie XP farm, making sure the water pushed them down to the central point. We then fixed up our sword with the diamonds we just mined, and then it was the moment of truth. Okay, and let's see if this works. Oh, Bat, what you doing, little guy? Okay, and then this is my safety space. There we go. We're starting to get some spawns. This is perfect. We spent the next bit of time at our makeshift spawner getting some more levels. And as we got enough levels, we started combining our diamond armor to repair and strengthen it to get ready to fight the Lich King. Once our armor was repaired, we started duplicating the netherite templates so we'd have enough to upgrade all of our armor to netherite. And once we figured out we needed 15 levels to add Thorns 3 to our chest plate, and we looked at combining both of our bows, and we also needed 15. We then spent the next few days getting to level 30. We then went back and forth between slicing zombies and smelting up different ores to help us get more XP faster, until we could finally combine and upgrade our bow and combine and upgrade our chest plate. Alright, on breaking 3 on our bow, we've got our helmet, chest plate, leggings, and toesies all prepared. Now let's go up and make it netherite. Da da da. we have a full set of netherite armor, and I do have to say, the little details of the diamond mixed in with the netherite does look super cute. But I am feeling a lot more confident taking on a boss that has 3 different stages, and each stage has almost 400 health. And real quick, I'm going to get my sword fully fixed up with a diamond using my levels, and then we can turn it to netherite. And I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing me prepare, so let's go fight a boss. Once at the Lich Island, we spent the next bit of time preparing the island for the big fight. Now, another thing I think would be helpful is if I can have some little pillars going all the way up here to make it easier for me to be able to get a better vantage point. So we're gonna remove these deep slate walls to allow us to get all the way up. All right, and then from here, we've got a good position, and we'll just set up a few more of these around. All right, now we've got a second spot to attack the boss from. Oh, wait. What is... Ooh, we just found a secret. That's exciting. Okay, well, first things first, let's get this set up. All right, and we've got our third position to attack the boss from. For now, I'm just gonna keep this here, and we'll just deal with that a little bit later on. Next, I wanna get all of our iron golem friends. Look at my little army of iron golems. We should be fine, right? Okay, now I think that these are the spots where we put down the parts of the guy. I'm gonna make him be the long way, like so. Oh, goodness. I know we have to wait till night to actually summon him. We're getting up our courage, guys. All right, I think I'm as ready as I will ever be. We've got the vial of blood that we need to add to the altar. It is dark. We've got our iron golems out and about. Our totem. We've got our shield, and I think we're as ready as we'll ever be. So let's summon a boss. Where do I click this? Ooh. Oh, there goes the staff. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's take our strength potion. Whoa! Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna come up here. Oh my gosh. Whoa, why am I blind? I'm glad I came up here. I don't like that. Why am I blind? Why can't I see him? Why am I so blind? I can't actually hear anything. Where is he? Why am I blind? Does it keep giving me blindness? It keeps giving me blindness? Oh, there, I saw. Oh, can I get you? Get him! Oh, look at all my guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he's just fully attacking them. Oh no, it's just me and him now. All right, where's these little guys? Is there actually a wandering trader trying to come up and... I'm not interested in your wares. No, thank you. Ah! Oh. I don't like you getting so close to me. Ooh. You trying to climb, sir? Oh my gosh, is he done? Whoa! Hang on. Hi. Okay, that's a lot of bad guys following me around. Hi guys, you might want to move. Just throwing that out there. Staff. Oh my gosh, wait, guys, we did it. Attain a staff. Definitely was a lot more prepared than I needed to be, but you know, we can use up all of our splash potions of healing on these guys, right? Okay, we got you. Oh, look at all of my iron golems. Hi. Get out of here. Stay dead. No. No. Stay dead. That's what I thought. We successfully beat the boss. I will admit, I did cheese it quite a bit, but what's really fun now is we get our very own minion. This is our little ghoul friend. Now I can make him stay put. And I can make him follow me. And what's really cool is now I can actually have this guy follow me around, and I can put a sarcophagus or a coffin on his back, and he will carry my storage. I will admit he's also kind of scary, but look at them teefies. He's ready to defend me, isn't he? So now with our new ghouling by our side, we sat them down so we could go explore beneath the island to see what we could find. Except it ended up being a whole lot of nothing with a bunch of dead-end hallways and loop arounds. So we decided to just bring our new little friend home instead. So we traveled by boat, stopped to loot a sunken ship. We located the buried treasure. We traveled through riverways. We noticed another grave, so I decided to loot that. Oh, a second totem. I don't even need it anymore, but we can maybe make a museum of all our little goodies we found while being a little grave robber. That is actually really good though, still, not gonna lie. We robbed the remainder of the graves for anything good they had, and on our way back to our ghouling, we looted another small grave and took some golden carrots and a decorative skull. We then took a moment to admire our new staff while our friend caught up with us, boated into a ravine, and walked up the other side until finally our home was in sight. All right, my little ghouling, welcome home, buddy. These are your, I guess, brother, sister from another mister, but welcome home. This is your new place. I hope you like it. It's a very quaint little place. I think you will be the guard of the place. Oh, look at this. This is so cool. I have a ghouling because I defeated the boss. That feels pretty good for being a grave robber that started with nothing, I must say. And I grabbed that skeleton off the grave so I could complete having all of the skulls on top our little YouTube member stones. Now, after we were able to summon the Lich, we then got this specific staff, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, but there is also an advancement for adding a coffin or sarcophagus onto our little ghouling. And I think adding a sarcophagus would be the coolest, so let's see. Oh, well, look at you! We got the advancement. The dead shall serve. Equip a ghouling with a coffin or sarcophagus, And do I just like click on you or a shift click? There we go. I can shift click and give you all of the stuff. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Look at your little backpack sarcophagus. Now, this is how a grave robber robs in style. Now, we are probably not going to be able to find 4 more completed sets of all of the pieces needed to, again, summon the Lich in order to get each and every single staff, which each staff gives us a different colored ghouling. So if you'll notice, the eyes on this one are red, which coincides with the color of our ghouling. So if we're looking at all of these other ones, there's one that's black, there's one that's blue, white, and there's some other color options. But as far as other advancements, there's also this desert graveyard one that we can look for. And we also have to find a large graveyard and decimate a graveyard horde spawning at night, as well as finding a mutated mushroom. And I don't know which mob a nightmare is, but it sounds like, well, a nightmare. With our ghouling now safely sat at home, we wanted to continue the quest to find a desert graveyard for the advancement. So we looked at the savanna patches we'd found so far, set a waypoint to head towards some drier biomes to continue our search. So we traveled across a meadow, through a birch forest, across an ocean, stopped to loot a ruined portal, and stopped to loot a sunken ship. We then moved the waypoint forward in search of an actual desert. We then noticed another graveyard on the map, so we stopped by that as well. Whoa, that's so many diamonds. What the heck? 7 diamonds? That's the best I've come across yet. With the graveyard looted, we continued setting forward waypoints to get us through the savannah looking for our desert. We then saw 2 additional structures, so we set a waypoint and headed that way. Then we entered the larger graveyard. Oh my word, 2 totems! What is this? We have like 4 extra lives. I feel like by the end of this 100 days, I'm gonna be like a cat. I'm gonna have at least 9 lives with all these totems I'm finding. This is insane. We also found a diamond chestplate and some other goodies before we left the graveyard. Ooh, do you think we can get that trident from this dude? We've got our shield. Should we try it? Come on, step right up, step right up. Oh, did I only... Oh, hi, baby. Oh, good thing I've got the Smite 5, my goodness. Ooh, I do want to show you guys what these creepers do because they do something a little bit different when they explode. Ready? Whoa! I'm getting thrown up in the air over here. All right, we're gonna ignore these guys. I then saw what looked to be one of those skeleton dirt mounds that we'd found our first staff fragment, so of course we had to check that out. Yes, look at this. We got a staff fragment we can hang in our house. And as I once again looked at our map, we had loaded a new area of the map that revealed a structure that looked like where I'd found the staff fragment at that parkour tower, so I went there next and we climbed the tower to retrieve the staff fragment. With another staff fragment found and new loot in our pockets, we got back on track exploring the savannas for a connected desert biome to find that graveyard. Okay, I was just about to go head towards the savannah when I just decided to take a little bit further of a look at all of the forest when I noticed this. And this means that I think we could literally get the 3rd and final staff fragment that we need, which means that we could fight the boss a second time and get a second little ghouling following us around. So we are definitely gonna go do that. I'm not sure if every single one of these little campsites gives us the exact same drops, but we get to find out. We do actually have quite a few potions left over from the first fight, so all we would need to do is get the vial of blood if this campsite does indeed have our 3rd and final piece. So we made our way up the mountainside, through some precarious taiga forests, traveled through the spooky birch forest, came across a village, and saw the little campsites. No way, guys. Look at this! We actually got it. We literally have all 3 of them all over again. We are definitely fighting that boss again, except this time I want to practice a little bit better PvP skills than I did last time. I just kind of stayed at a distance because I didn't know what to expect, but now I kind of do, and yeah, let's try this again. The only thing we still need is the vial of blood. However, I do not have one of those bone daggers that I need, so we'll probably have to go home first. And since there's a village nearby, I think we're just gonna locate where their waystone is and use that to get back home. Aha, there it is, but I am curious to check in here real quick. Oh, we got a pickaxe, some apples, nothing too crazy. We're just gonna leave that and head on home. Home sweet home. Hi, buddy. How's it going? Look at you looking so cute. Guess what? I got a bunch of stuff, and we can go and fight the boss again, and you can have another little ghouling friend. How does that sound? Does that sound nice? So we spent the next bit of time collecting the blood from the sacrifices and making our way over to the Lich Island. However, I did remove the waypoint because I thought we wouldn't have a reason to go back there, so we bridged our way back up and got prepared to fight. Okay, we're here. Ready or not, here we are again. Hello, guys. I see you're still here. Still selling the same stuff? Yep, got that backpack. How cute. All right, let's get everything set up again. Waystone, name it Lich Island. This is staying here permanently, and I'm not removing it this time. We will set our spawn, and here we are. Once again. Placing the fragments. Are you guys ready for this? I don't really know if you are. Comment below if you think these llamas and the wandering trader is going to survive this fight, because frankly, I don't think they will, but you never know. We'll see. And we can't forget about our little iron golem friends. This time I don't have as many, but I think they'll still be helpful either way. And we'll add their little heads on top. Hello, guys. There we go. Perfect. Our 3 friends. All right, here we go. Round 2. All right, strength potion. Let's go. And there we go. Ooh. Where did he go? Oh! Oh my gosh, he teleports. He teleports. He teleports. Didn't know that. He teleports. Oh my gosh, he teleports. Where's my... Ooh, okay, didn't know he teleports. That sound makes sense then. All right, I ate an enchanted golden apple. Just so we kind of know. Okay. I think I just have to wait him out. Ah! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Wait, did he teleport me? Excuse you? Hang on. He teleported me. How rude. Hang on, I'm just gonna... We're gonna... Okay. He teleports me. He didn't do that last time. That's a little interesting. That's also just good to know in general. All right, buddy, where are you at? He's just kind of hanging out. Is he just... Oh no. Okay, I'm still up here. I'm not teleported yet. Okay, I'm still up here. No! Don't teleport me! Stop it! That's not fair! You didn't do this before! No! No, I see you. That's not fair. You can't teleport me. I don't like that. Unfair. You didn't do that before. Oh! How did they get teleported up? That's a little odd too. Did I not hit him? Ah! Why is he so different this time? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. What the heck? Okay, we're almost done with this phase. We're almost done with this phase. Now he's just a crawly guy, which isn't too bad. I want to get rid of these other guys that are all around me, because they're the real annoying ones. And let's try doing this. Splash potions! Yeah! Take that! And that! And that! Doesn't do a lot on the main boss, but I'll still like use him up. Might as well. There we go. We got it. Oh, and it looks like it's the same staff, but that's okay. We will take a second, little friend. We did it a second time, and I've got a friend trying to get my autograph, but I don't want it. Oh, there we go. We've got a second staff. I'm pretty sure it's the same one, unfortunately, but maybe that's because it's the same island. But either way, I will gladly take another little ghouling friend. Hi, buddy. Welcome to this side of the world, which is a little bit nicer than following whatever guy wielded this before. Well, guys, we successfully beat the boss a second time, and we did not die. And in case you guys did have a bet, the llama stayed alive. The wandering trader, on the other hand, yeah, he's seen better days. And now that the boss is defeated and we have another little ghouling, let's go home. Look at this, we got our two little ghoulings. This is so cool. And you definitely need a sarcophagus, so let's grab that for you. And we shall right click, and there we go. They both have their little sarcophaguses on their backs. I love that feature so much, but it is time to sleep into the next day. All right, we're on day 87, and ooh, I'm getting hit from behind. It's fine. Like I was saying before I got interrupted, I think I want to create a build out here, and I need to light up my forest a little bit more because that is a creeper. Now in free cam, we have the graveyard on the right side, and I think if we balance it out with another build off to the left, it will look really nice in our area. So let's collect some building supplies and get building and decorating. Now, I did notice that there is a black waystone, which I definitely think fits the creepy vibe more. So we need obsidian, a black stone, and a warp stone. And how we make a warp stone is a bunch of amethyst, emeralds, and some ender pearls. And I already have all of these supplies, so we can make our warp stone. And I think we can just craft up the black waystone. And let's take a look at this. We'll just say hi. Ooh, yes, so much more ominous, and fits our red windows as well. I love this so much, actually. Now, instead of having our waystone just down there, I think it would be cool to have it in the middle of our tower here. So I'm going to quickly move this pile of bones, and let's add in our little warpstone, and we'll call this one home. Now, another thing I think would be really cool, especially now that we have the black waystone with the red accents that does match all of our red stained glass, is I'm thinking, what if we, you know, just take on the wither and get ourselves a beacon, so we could maybe have a red beacon coming from our waystone? We have been conquering a lot of bosses, so what's one more, right? We were able to rob a bunch of graves to allow us to get up to netherite armor, so I mean, we're kind of putting it to waste if we don't fight the bosses, right? So I'm just going to take 4 bits of soul sand, and we'll just head down my mine system to go fight the wither. Okay, I made the little box for where the wither is going to spawn, and I think we need to make sure that no blocks are touching it. We got 1, we got 2, and here's the wither. Let's go all the way. Okay, we're already getting it to almost half, which is awesome. Oh my gosh, this is so fast. Was that even 30 seconds of a fight? Smite 5 is insane. What on earth? Look, we got his little head. He didn't even stand a chance against this grave robber. I'm too powerful for all the bosses. I guess now we can just go make a beacon, right? But before we could craft the beacon, we stopped to collect up some obsidian. Oh, so I don't think I was able to show you guys, but look at this. Look at the Endermen. They're Slendermen. They're like Slenderman Enderman. I think it's actually such a funny texture pack. I love it though. But we can't get distracted by Slenderman in the woods. We've got a beacon to make. And there we go, a beacon. And I think we're gonna use a bunch of gold because we have so much from robbing all those graves. And I want us to make some red stained glass. We're going to sneak underneath the waystone and put the beacon there. All right, now just trust the process. So we've got all the gold blocks going right here. And that should give us a beacon. Yeah, there we go. Construct and place a beacon. Now, even though the beacon looks cool, we are going to add a piece of red glass onto it. If we shift click. That looks ominous. That looks like a place you'd never want to visit. Now, we just gotta fix the gold sticking out situation. And we'll just take some slabs, cover that over, and then we'll just pillar off to the sides and just cover it up with some stairs. And there we go. No one's to know. All right, we're on day 98, and we are going to use our brand new black beacon, and we're gonna go rescue our allays and bring them back home. So let's get these little guys out of here. Hi, buddy. Let's go out. Let's bring you out and go get the other 2.
A few moments later.
All right, we've got all 4 of our allays. Now let's bring them home. Oh, look at our little friends. They get to enjoy their new house, carrying all their little spooky things, despite how cute they are. Now, since it is day 99, I want to just work on the last few things around our base area, making it look all cute and completed. And of course, we do have some storage to take care of out here. So we're going to just work on that. I also just realized that the allays can get out, so I gotta stop this before more of them get out. and after barely being home, the allays were already stressing me out as we tried to figure out how to corral them into the house using the leads from our llamas, but we weren't fast enough and one allay flew into the nether, so we had to go chase them down and lead them into our house by hand. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got all of our allays in here, so I feel a little bit more safe about letting them free roam. And for me, it is time to go to bed. And it is officially day 100, guys. We made it. We got our allay friends back. We successfully defeated the boss twice and defeated the wither. I'd say for a grave robber, we did an amazing job. The fact that we started with absolutely nothing and we built this amazing house, we defeated the wither to get a beacon, we got full netherite, and we even got 2 little ghoul friends to not only protect us, but also carry so much storage for our grave robbing days. Now, I did want to show you guys what I have for our little museum. I put on the signs the day that I defeated the boss. So on day 95, we defeated the wither. On days 74 and 86, we defeated the boss of the mod pack. And then I just put little items that relate to different things in the graveyard mod pack. We've got the blood vial, and yes, we did go on another rampage just to fill up another vial or 2 to keep on display. We've got some corruption, we've got the skull heads, and as well as all of the vases that we were able to get. We also have the dagger of the acolytes, which helped us to get the vial of blood and defeat the bosses. We also have a block of dark iron. All of the totems I decided to place inside this little urn here with some dark iron and wither roses we collected. And of course, we had to flex that we got an extra netherite ingot to spare to have on display in our museum. And then we have more pots as well as a sarcophagus. And then the upstairs is a little cursed. I decided to make it my headroom where we, got the blood vial and the dagger and collected some little mob heads and pillager heads and all the different guys. And then we've just got an extra sarcophagus for, well, I guess extra heads if we have them. But I think this museum is so fun to just kind of have little landmarks and help us remember all that we accomplished in these 100 days. And I think we did such a good job. I am so proud of the house that we have, the museum, and we have our little graveyard to celebrate our YouTube members in tier 1, and we have our tier 2 in the back. But of course, we couldn't end this video without giving our little guardians some names. So we have Rusty the Redeemed, and we have Crimson the Keeper. If you enjoyed this 100-day video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment below what your favorite part of this mod pack was, and let me know what other mod packs or bosses you want me to defeat. See you in the next one!